for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Yeah. All right. Alrighty.
What's going on, everybody?
Not much. How about them Browns?
Is there anything else we can talk about? I gotta tell you what, last week was the saddest week for Ohio sports that I've witnessed in a long, long time.
That was rough.
And you know who did it? There was one family that did it all. You realize that?
How so?
There was one family. Who's the coach of the Ravens?
Harbaugh.
And who's the coach? And who's the coach of the Harbaugh? The Harbaughs did us in. That's all there was to that.
Maybe we need to recruit the Harbaughs.
Yeah, you heard what they said. They said, "Well, Harbaughs too, Ohio City."
Stop.
And the coach from the football, or from the college football Harbaughs, went and got somebody from his is that his brother? I think that's his brother. Yeah. He went and got somebody from his brother on the Ravens side of the football, and that's what beat Ohio State.
Huh.
Because he brought him over as, what was it, a defensive coordinator or something like that? It changed the look of Michigan's football team pretty much completely. That's why they've done so well in the this last year. That's why they were 6th instead of 28. But
wow.
Yeah, they they'll use the route on that.
But I think about back in the days, Ohio State under Trussell, how they were just known for being a defensive juggernaut, and offense wasn't much to write home about. They were that 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of offense. They we just gonna pound you. We're gonna beat up on you. We're gonna do this. And then, over time, I watched the offense kind of develop into something that is a bit more exciting. And it looked like they just forgot about defense, because when they play teams with a good defense, don't mind you now, if they got far enough ahead quick enough, then the defense could, because, then you become one-dimensional in most cases. But man, it's like they'd be the number one team in the Big 12 right now if Buckeyes was in the Big 12, because they got offense, and I think their defense is better than most Big 12 defense. Probably any of them, truth be told. But I just,
it wasn't just defense though last week. It was the whole game.
You're a little light, Nate.
They lost on both sides of the ball. It wasn't just defense. It was everything.
well,
They I mean, look, they didn't really put up based on, you look at the score, man. Based on what they scored, they didn't put no points on the board.
but also I agree with you. But you know what? They played a very good defense.
Yeah, but you got to be able to, good defense, not good defense. You got to bring it.
You got to understand that Michigan was running the ball more too.
And,
Yeah, they
and
can
that's the
throw
thing
like
about
They
it.
kept the ball away from us. So.
That's the thing about it. You can't always go on just big plays. If you can run the ball, you can keep the ball out the other team's hands, man. We've been saying that since we've been here.
Yeah.
Best defense is ball control offense.
Yeah, but if you can't score it when you got it, that's the problem.
Right.
Like,
But I'm
they
yeah.
were scoring all the time. So
Yeah.
I mean, they came up short on both sides of the ball. I don't think that if they played again, Michigan would beat them like that. But Ohio State has that problem. We see it every year. Every year they come out and they lay an egg, man, against somebody. They get caught off guard. Just like the year, okay, they beat Clemson last year in the playoffs. Okay, on their route to the championship. The previous year, they got killed by Clemson. Literally just ripped apart. And they came back and avenged that loss, and they done it, in a real dominating type of manner. I venture to say, the next round, the next time Ohio State faces Michigan, they'll crush them. But it's like, man, they come out and they don't adjust well either. To a team like team comes with. They kind of stick to their guns and they do what they do or attempt to do what they do. It wasn't working.
You're really,
Working on either side of the ball. They really couldn't run the ball.
you're really pretty light, Nate. I'm not sure everybody's hearing you. Are you guys okay with him?
Yeah.
Well, he freezes up and everything, but yeah, it's a little bit light on there, and I don't understand what's going on his end, but yeah. But I'll say this. One of the things that I'll say is that clearly Michigan was the better team, and I think if they played them again, I think Michigan is still the better team this year, and I believe that part of it is this. When you have, and keep in mind, in college, some years you have a young team because you lose players, okay? And I think part of that was, like you say, yeah, the offense didn't play that well, but part of the reason, give credit where credit is due. Michigan played, their defensive game plan was good.
Well, I want to add something to all of that. And this is something that hasn't really been anything said about for at least as far as I know. That is the fact that this is not, Ohio State is not an Urban Meyer's team anymore.
No, sir.
And they're not playing like it. They're not playing, you got to figure the first couple of years that Day was in there, he was living on the glory of Myers, and Myers did the same thing with Tressel. He took over a team that was really pretty well built. Well, now you're starting to get a few coaching changes here and there. Your strategy's a little bit different and stuff like that. You got to wonder if that there's not going to be more of these Harbaugh days.
And you bring up a good point because of this right here. If you look at it, okay, Ohio State had won the last 5 times against Michigan, and let's say that they go ahead and win out. Let's say Michigan goes ahead and win. Okay, they remain at number 2 or what have you going into the playoffs, and let's say they win it, or put up a great showing against whomever they wind up playing in the playoffs. But especially if they win it, it's going to really help Michigan as far as going forward with recruiting goes. Now the flip side is this: it's a lose-lose for Ohio State, because if they go from here. If Michigan, if this is their high point of beating Ohio State, and they kind of tank after that, it doesn't look good for the Big Ten overall, because they're going to say, "I told you the Big Ten still isn't back," you know. And I really think the Big Ten is, you know, Michigan, Ohio State. I think those are two good teams. Make no mistake about it. Ohio is still a good program, but they were exposed to what we had been seeing anyway. Is that okay? Part of it is your schedule, and when you beating up on teams like I kept saying, when you beating up on teams like Purdue, it doesn't records that doesn't impress me. You know. You doing what you're supposed to do.
No, let me interject this right here. Thinking along those same lines of thinking, think about this right here. Georgia is favored to beat Alabama. If Georgia beats Alabama today, well, it's the same thing, okay? Because Alabama will have 2 losses too. Period. I mean, it's one point. And I'll be honest, the way Michigan played against Ohio State, it's going to be a war. Michigan versus Georgia, and I'm anticipating on that being the final, Michigan versus Georgia.
And I hope so.
I don't believe Alabama is going to beat Georgia, and if Alabama beats Georgia, then I'm looking for Michigan to win the thing.
But you know what? You say that, and you know, I could still see them putting Bama back in there at number 4 if they lose to Georgia, man. It's so crazy.
And they might do some trifling stuff like that, but you know, and they might. I mean, but that don't make any sense. Just because they, you know, want to make the sense. They want to tell us that Georgia is really an NFL quality team right now. Is what they're saying basically if they do that. But technically speaking, Bama loses today. They're no better than Ohio State.
I agree.
And just like you oust Ohio State, you need to oust Bama. But doing that, the point I'm making though is that if all things stay true to form, it's going to wind up being Michigan in the championship game against Georgia.
You know, and I would love to see that. I would love for it to. This is the way I like for it to play out. Like that. Now I don't know who those other 2 teams may be, but and I would love to see maybe in that other bowl game, Ohio State and Bama.
That's probably be the only way I'll watch any game that Ohio State plays. I'm done.
Thank you, because I really don't care to see them against most anybody else. I really don't.
Oh, you know they're going to end up in a bowl somewhere.
Yeah, they're going to end up in a bowl. I mean,
probably going to be the Rose Bowl.
And if they're playing,
it's probably going to be against Utah.
And see, and I really don't.
Utah just beat the hell out of Oregon.
Yeah, but I really don't want to see Utah, man.
Yeah, I don't care who it is.
Unless it's Bama.
Yeah, unless it's.
But I'm saying like this, and y'all notice in your heart of hearts, Georgia goes in there. Say they beat Bama. And we can still see Bama sliding in there at number 4. You can see it happen. If it happens, you won't be that surprised.
No, but you know, and yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised, which would be ignorant though, because
I agree.
What are we going to see in the first round of the playoffs again? We're going to see it.
I think it's going to probably be ending up being number 4 in Notre Dame.
And you know, and that may be so. You know.
That would be crazy if you look at Notre Dame. They just hired Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
And just to think, if he can go to the championship, he'd be a championship coach within 2 games.
Yeah. No matter where he go though.
Fan.
Newsflash: Notre Dame ain't winning.
Yeah, I know, but you know, just a thought.
Yeah. But it's this to me this is as big a game as the Michigan Ohio State game was last week.
I agree.
But yeah, I feel for Bama because they're about to get bounced. Because you can't really justify leaving them. You can't justify swapping them back and forth, going from 3 to 4, 1 slot. Come on, man, you got to go.
Yeah.
They got to go. But the thing is, man, it's going to be set up now, though. I mean, it's going to be because you figure Cincinnati will slide up to 3. So we'll see Cincinnati playing Michigan in the first round, and then we'll see Notre Dame playing Georgia in the first round. So essentially, both those teams have a bye for the playoffs, you know. But actually,
But
I
you
think
never know about
Cincinnati.
Michigan. You never know about Michigan sometimes, though.
Yeah, you're right. And I think Cincinnati would be a tough out for them.
Yeah, but in
Dame
terms of
and
Michigan
Georgia,
playing against Iowa,
Notre Dame and Georgia, that's like a bye week for them. That's a bye week.
You know, Notre Dame isn't looking bad from what I saw. They're not looking bad at all.
Wait, nobody.
And I'm still, because I hadn't looked much at Cincinnati, and I wondered, is Cincinnati real?
They pounded your Notre Dame, boys.
yeah.
So, I mean, my point is that neither one of them really ain't got much on their resume, if you ask me, Cincy or Notre Dame.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you hit on something high right there. Your resume, you know, when you talk about your wins and losses, you know, some of them is you know, when you go in, and I still say this, all those style points, when you go beat a much lesser, weaker opponent by 40, I really don't care. You know, now I was shocked the way Ohio State beat Michigan State. That one caught me off guard. I expected from Michigan State to put up a better fight than that. But you know, then I was like, okay, what's going to happen when they play a team with some defense? And because you're not going to score, you know, you're not going to score 30 points against everybody. If you play the better teams, I mean, we see it in the NFL and in college rankings. You know, I mean, you know, you look at that, and when they talk about Dallas and how great an offense and how explosive it is, mind you, don't get me wrong, they had injuries and all these other things, but when you look at them and I was looking at a lot of times with Dallas, I was looking at quarterback play, and Dak, he's middle of the road. He's better than Baker, but Dak is middle of the road.
I don't know how much better.
Oh,
I watched him the other day too, and there was stuff he was making mistakes at that it was the same as Baker was.
And then, but if you look at the way when they start off the game, he started off hot.
Well, Baker does that too.
Bailed him out. Or
Baker will go 10 or 12 passes.
Or Hill that bailed him out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Hill looked horrible.
He did.
When you take and pass the damn football, and every pass is picked off, there's just something wrong there somewhere.
I'll tell you, I don't care though. For me, it's just the sentence is grammatically incorrect to put Baker's name and Dak's name in a sentence together.
I agree. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, we know how much you two love Baker though.
Baker is my favorite. He's my favorite third string quarterback in the NFL.
But you know what? I'm not a Nate guy when it comes to Baker. Nate never did like the kid.
No, I think he's a great third string quarterback.
But my thing is this. I see, because I was willing to look. This dude, you know, he was making all the throws in college, and he has some athleticism about him. But what he's proved to me more so than anything is those leadership qualities that you need in a quarterback. He does not possess.
Let's change gears into that game, into that Browns Ravens game.
Game that the Ravens tried to give to the Browns. I mean, they gift wrapped it for them, laid it at the goal line, and they still didn't.
To be honest about it, I thought Cleveland's defense played tough. I really did.
Well, they did play tough. That's the reason why it wasn't many points scored.
When you get four turnovers on the Ravens, you're doing something.
Absolutely.
And you know, I thought that defensive wise, they had the Ravens number, but that that offense was less than mediocre. They just couldn't get it together to save their lives.
They
And
was
that
missing Case
Sha-
Keenum.
Yeah. Sean brought up a good point. Say it again, Sean.
I think they're missing that top end receiver.
They're missing your boy, Nate.
He wasn't gonna get no targets. You know what though, but they are missing him. You know why they're missing him? Because he's a distraction on the field, seriously speaking. Because
really is.
he does make other players open when he's on the field. Though Baker wasn't using him that right way, but just by him being on the field, he did, cause other guys to be open. But that really didn't matter because there were guys open, heck, to be honest, both quarterbacks played awful in the game. Lamar Jackson stunk up the place, and so did Baker. They both stunk up the place, but we don't really care that Lamar stunk up the place because
Well,
but that's my point. Is that they gift wrapped the game, left it at the goal line for Cleveland, and they still didn't bring it home.
you know what though?
They were missing that.
You know what?
receiver core, too.
Again, and I understand that, yeah, and everybody's shorthanded at this point in the season, Sean. But I'm gonna say this though: give credit where credit is due. That Cleveland defense, they play. That's part of the reason why Lamar stunk up the place.
Probably, maybe a little bit of that. I think he just stunk up the place, just like Baker. I think they both stunk up the place. But the thing is, Lamar don't always stink up the place. It's just Baker being true to form. But we'll give him the excuse. We'll say he's hurt. My thing is this: like, what is wrong with Cleveland management? Are they retarded in Ohio? I mean, is it snowing in Cleveland and it's frost in their brain? Sit the guy down if he's hurt.
I agree with you.
Quarterback over there, put him in the game.
I've been saying that since he pulled that thing out to begin with.
I agree.
That labrum.
Think, if he's hurt, the fans want to root for a victory. They don't want to just root on for a guy that's fumbling around there, holding his shoulder on every other play. Hey, come on, man.
I agree with you there. 100%. When there's a point when you get out there, if you're not healthy, you're not helping.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a point where the coach has got to decide this stuff, and he just refuses to do it.
I'm like, is it on the coach or is it somebody? Is that front office saying, hey, we got to see if he's going to have a breakthrough because, hey, we got to figure out what we're going to do about paying this guy. I don't know if that's what it is or not. My thing is, man, give this guy a little something, man. Keep him on ice, man, and reevaluate next year if you think that's more fair. But you can't just let the team take L's because, your fan base is getting frustrated.
Well, I agree, but you know what's going to happen? And two things. First off, and from players want to play, and I understand that, but you got to consider like this. First off, okay, dude, realistically, you're playing for your contract. Okay, now you stinking up the place. Guess what? Say, man, you may not even have a job, let alone negotiate money.
Oh, yeah.
But then the other side of that is this, and I'm gonna just throw this out. Rumor has it that Russell will be out of Seattle next year.
Cleveland ain't that smart. Cleveland is, man. They have already laid their hooks into Baker. Baker's the guy. And my point is, fine, if Baker's your guy, you gotta help him help himself.
Right.
The guy down.
If you read any of the Browns' Facebook stuff or any of the social media, you'll see a lot of fans that are really disgruntled with Baker. And there's no in between. There's not any. Well, it could be. You either Baker's the best thing since fried eggs and ham, or he's he's a bum. There's no in between on it. It's either dump Baker or keep Baker, one of the two.
I saw a report by Kareem Hunt saying that Baker's scared to pass the ball.
I wouldn't be surprised, and that brings up another point, Shawn. I'm glad you said that. We got Kareem Hunt going to his father or whatever, mother, whatever, and asking his mother to speak, or asking his relative to speak out for him. Boy, does that really has a familiar ring. Are we about to see Hunt leave?
If Cleveland get rid of Kareem Hunt, I'm done with Cleveland because you'd have to be crazy. Okay, Baker, we got it. Baker was not performing in Cleveland for whatever the reasons are. Okay, it wasn't working. Okay, I don't think Baker is done as you guys do, but I don't think he's I definitely don't think he's the stud that he once was.
I don't think he's the answer for Cleveland's problems. I really don't.
Think he's done,
I've said that for the last couple of years now.
I think he's going to be a backup quarterback somewhere, and
I'm talking about
right situation.
Say Odell, but what I was saying, the point I was making, that I was saying that so I get, they got rid of Odell. If Cleveland gets rid of Kareem Hunt because of whatever, if they're too silly to figure out how to reel that in and work through that, if they let all that talent go, man, they're absolutely insane.
Man, but hey, we're good though. We got rid of Odell. He's already hurt.
Yeah, I saw that the other night.
And
he hurt his back.
Yeah, I feel like this dude's injuries and everything, where he is in his career, because he's had major injuries through the past.
But that comes from all the ridiculous catches too, man. All those ridiculous catches, when you fall and your body is all, contort. The body is not really designed to do that. And the force and the speed at which you're going with, and then you get somebody nail you to, and you all like that, and you come down awkward. Yeah, it's easier to get hurt. So you figure his injuries today has a lot to do with those hits from yesteryears.
I watched that game the other night with him, and I saw, and I'm kind of sort of a fan of his, but I'm not. I just want to see what's going to happen with him now that since he left. You know what I'm saying? The same thing he did on the Browns. Every time he lines up out of place. He's always looking to see what's going on. He's always got the guy on the right or left of him, or depending on where he stands. He's always got that guy telling him to move over 2 spaces or something like that. That's the same thing. He has no idea, no concept of where he's at on that field. And if he's doing that, then does he even remember what he's supposed to do? That guy does not impress me. He's not a superstar. He really isn't.
I think he's still a really good ball player, and I think he'll be fine where he is. He's not going to be a stud, but I think he'll be fine where he is. So I think he's going to be all right. But I do think that obviously Cleveland, there's an adjustment with him going, because him being on that field, he did create space, for other guys out there, because he drew attention. Now that he's gone, though, my thing is, Cleveland, there's something going on. Whatever's going on, Cleveland need to reel it in, because you still have too much talent on that team to not unify that and bring that back together. And obviously a whole lot of that has to be leveraged to the quarterback.
Right now, as I see it, I think Cleveland's got more coaching issues than what anybody's putting on. They need to give the damn play calling back to the play caller, and take it away from Stefanski. He's got way too much to do. And I think that's a large part of the problem. His calls are all mediocre stuff. You could write a schedule on what he's going to play or what he's going to call, and that was part of the reason that they lost to the Ravens. If you looked at that, it was either go to the right, go to the left, run it up the gut. There's more to it than that. And the thing with the Browns is, if they give it to a decent play caller, there's enough talent on that team that they could easily take the Ravens down, or any other team in the NFL, for crying out loud. But they just got to get it to work, and it's not going to work if the coaching's not working. And as far as the defense on the other side, the game before that, they stunk it up. There ain't no question about that. But in this last game, what's his name heard those complaints, and he knew his job was on it. And that's why he got them together and they played like that.
Well,
I would not be surprised if that's why that happened. Now in the next game, are we going to see an offense come out and blow the doors off of the Ravens? You can hope. I bet they play better than they did this last game.
I think they'll play better.
And they're going to say, "Oh, it was because of the bye week." Horseshit. It's because people are complaining. They're getting in the faces of these coordinators and these coordinators are reacting to it. And if that's what it takes, we all ought to do it every week.
I think Cleveland's bag has been put in the heart and is shipped off. Been put in the bag and it's been shipped out. I don't think they have a heart no more.
Well,
I don't see them beating the
man, you know who would be the best coach for Cleveland next year? I think they could just do a swap. Y'all can take Mike McCarthy.
You're funny.
Okay,
We wanted McCarthy up here before you guys got him. He was one of the picks.
Boy, man,
He was a pick when it was the year that they hired Freddie Kitchens.
I don't know how. I don't know how Green Bay won with that dude.
There was, when it came down to the picks that year, it was McCarthy, it was the guy that Stefanski, the guy they got now, and they had Kitchens, who was who they thought was the up and comer because he was young and he wanted to do this stuff. And they picked the third one, and we all know how that turned out.
Well, I don't know what it is with Cleveland.
always get Matt Nagy.
But I'm gonna say this: Cleveland is for what they look like. When we look at them on paper, and everything, that is just dysfunction. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is realistically.
Hurt.
But now Dallas, I don't know if with them, I say lack of discipline. They're the most penalized team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They give up the most big plays of any team in the NFL. Now, they may be pretty good on the turnover ratio. But part of that is because they give up such big plays gambling all the time. And they gamble too much. And I'm going to say this. That safety Dallas has, Kazee, that boy trash. They should have left him in Atlanta. I shouldn't call him trash on here, but I don't like Kazee. I don't like him. I watched too many plays where he took bad angles, or it's like, what does the safety do? And maybe it's because Dig gambles too much. Dig's gamble, I don't know, but I don't like Kazee. I'm not feeling that dude as a safety. I think there are much better safeties out there. I shouldn't have called him that, but his game has been so. He got that pick the other night, and that was probably one of the highlights of his game. He hadn't played that well. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys about this stuff. Team is playing the best football in the league right now, man. Those Patriots, man, with the baby goat. So, do you guys think they're gonna run the table the rest of the way?
Nope.
No.
Nope. They won't even get by again. They got to play Mahomes again. They won't get by them.
They play Buffalo this week, don't they?
Yeah.
They're not going to be. I'd be surprised if they beat Buffalo.
They got Buffalo.
And as great a defense as that is,
I don't know.
I don't know about them beating Buffalo this week.
I think that they're going to suffer the same thing Ohio State did.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's going to happen, they're going to get a big head on them, and they're going to come up against somebody tough, and they're going to get the doors blowed off.
They're going to beat Buffalo, man. By
I know that the storybook would love to see New England and Tampa Bay meet up again. But who's to say Tampa's going to be there? Because I'm going to tell you, the team that really, really scares me There's two teams out there. That is Green Bay and Arizona. Somehow Green Bay managed to pull it out. Well, I say somehow. They got Aaron Rodgers, man. So if they got Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers in the game, because I think Aaron Jones is such an underrated running back. But
and yeah, if they got two, they got that backup running back too, that bowling ball, dude.
Yeah,
Dylan.
yeah, and I just think that probably those are the two teams because, and I think somebody's gonna get Arizona in the playoffs because this is Kyler Murray. He's still, I don't think he's quite there yet, and if you can keep that cat from running. Now, mind you, you got to have some good edge rushers and things like that, which Dallas has one in Parsons. That might be. I don't think he can run down Lamar, but I think he can run down any quarterback in the league. That dude is he's phenomenal.
When you look at Tampa Bay, for me, it's easy to say Tampa Bay's kryptonite is Washington. Who is Arizona's kryptonite?
Well, you look at even without good quarterbacks, I tell you a team that is got all up in both of them, and that's the Saints. Explain that. I don't know how, but but there again, now they're beat up on both sides of the ball really, really bad. But to me, I think that was probably the best defense in all of football. They just didn't have the offense to go along with it. Is the Saints.
But that's what's crazy right now is Arizona. Look who their quarterback has been the last couple of weeks. Since Murray's been out.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy.
Another Big 12er too. And right now they just seem to have the deal for winning. But like I say, those two teams right there, man, you better watch. Well, those are two teams that are serious. I really don't. I'm just guessing. My guess is Tampa's not going to be there, and they're coming back healthy. Don't get me wrong. Tampa has actually probably come back. They're probably one of the more healthy teams in the league right now.
Now let's from a guy. So the NBA, in 1 week you had the two biggest games in 1 week period of time, right? You had the Golden State versus the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
You had it just 3 days apart or something like that, wasn't it? 3, 4 days, whatever it was. Wow. And the thing that was funny is, the Los Angeles Lakers game was really originally supposed to be televised in that spot. They pushed that junk out the way, the Los Angeles Clippers, and replaced it with Golden State and Phoenix last night. And so I watched both of them, at the same time. So I watched, both of them. See the Lakers as much of it as I could stand, and I certainly agree with them pushing it out the way as I was watching it. But I guess I'm thinking about it like this. I'm like, who saw this coming in terms of the NBA? Because everybody initially preseason was kind of thinking Golden State was going to be kind of like at the bottom, like that 8-7 spot maybe. And instead, they're going to wind up having the best record in the league. Going to have the number one overall, number one spot in the playoffs, more than likely. And I don't think that Brooklyn Nets can beat Golden State. So I'm looking at the way this thing is shaping back up into form, and I'm looking at Golden State getting healthy, and it's starting to look like Golden State, man, is about to hang another banner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
yeah. I hear you. And I hear you. Now the crazy part is this is I'm still just wondering because of the drama with the whole Kyrie situation, what's going to happen to him? Will he ever even play in with Brooklyn?
Not unless he gets vaccinated.
And this dude has really taken a stand. And man, if I'm KD or James, man, dude, whew, man, look at here, man. You've done all this talk. You know what I'm saying? You've done all this talk, and now look at you. What are you doing?
To be honest, though, really to be honest, that team is so loaded, man. I'm tired. I don't want to hear the excuses, man. That team is more than sufficiently powered to actually win, whether Kyrie's there or not. Yes, Kyrie there makes it just over the top, but without him, they have that team is loaded. I was looking at the guys coming off that bench, man, and the guys that supporting cast is in the lineup. They are loaded, man. I really don't want to hear. I
You
have
know,
no pity for
I
them.
hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, man. But I'm gonna say this: and unless James Harden comes back to being the old James Harden, they not coming out the East.
Well, they pretty much done that. The last couple games, they went back to giving him all them BS calls, and he shot like 20 free throws the other day. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. I personally don't. I like James Harden, but I don't like that. I don't like all that flailing, getting those garbage calls, man. And they award it. And the guy's a knockdown free throw shooter. I don't blame him. But so yeah, he's rare. He's getting back into form, man. So they're gonna be a tough out. But I do think that Golden State, because of the tenacity.
Oh, I would love to see that matchup. I would love to see that matchup. And but yeah, now the flip side of Kyrie though is like, man, dude, what are you? Why? I don't understand it. I say trading for Ben Simmons, man.
That's what I think they should do.
Yeah.
I think they should. I don't know why they. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what they see the point in keeping. I guess Philadelphia's thinking, hey, we trade for that guy, man. That guy probably won't. He's too erratic. We don't know what he may or may not do.
That's
I
true.
can see why Philadelphia has some reluctancy.
Yeah.
I can't see why Brooklyn would have any reservation whatsoever.
Yeah. Brooklyn should be jumping all over it because of this. I think that dude wants out, and he wants to go play with these other studs, man. And the thing about with Philly is, look, we want to make sure we get something for him. We get Kyrie, we wind up getting nothing because of his stance on whatever.
But if he doesn't flake, that's a win-win for both teams to me.
Yeah.
Man, I think that would be an awesome trade. I think both teams have gotten better if they do that. I think that Brooklyn would be insane at that point. Defensively, and masterful distributor, handler, rock like that. Oh my God, man, it would be insane. But Philly would be insane with Kyrie and and the big boy and Embiid.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, man, it might be maybe they can swap him and Russ. He'd be back with LeBron again.
KD is like, I ain't trying to play with Russ, and LeBron is really deep down in the corner of his heart. He like, I would like to have it. I ain't trying to do that again. He like, I don't know about that again. It's like that joke. It's like that joke they had about Bron. KD had called Bron up and said, "Hey man, I heard about your new signing here, man. Good luck with that." And then Bron said, "Yeah, you too, man. Good luck."
Oh man.
Maybe LeBron come back to Cleveland and help, they're starting to win again.
He would be better off going back to Cleveland where he is right now. His bums, man. They're not even a playoff team, man.
With Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland. No, I'm saying he went back to Cleveland. Right now, they're pretty decent. That squad he's on with the Lakers, man.
Uh,
That AD, man. Man, I like Bam Adebayo better than AD.
and that kid for Cleveland, that rookie has been, he got named Rookie of the Month.
Yeah.
Mobley.
Yeah,
You know what though? Maybe Dallas could work out a swap with them. Give them Porzingis and take
and take
AD.
take Carmelo Anthony.
Take AD now.
That's like an even swap. Neither one of them.
Okay. I think it'd be even swap. So they just need to swap them out.
Yeah, because they both get injured pretty quick, frequently.
Well, that's true too.
He stays on the floor. You know, he's very inconsistent. He shoots too many jumps. Same thing. His game is just like Porzingis. You want to shoot.
Well. At least he's on the floor, even if he's laying on it. But Porzingis may not even be in the arena.
I tell you, the person that's feeding himself out of the NBA right now is Zion.
Yeah.
God, man.
What a waste. What a waste. Yeah, I think they spotted him last time. I think they spotted him at Whataburger the other day, man.
It's sad, man, too, because you know, I can't remember who it was. The guy made a very valid point. You know, Zion being that big with that athletic burst that he has, with his tremendous athleticism and all this. I mean, he's just so dynamic and explosive. But it just takes a pounding on the joints. And when you think about it, it worked for him like in high school. Because how many games you play in high school at best? If you on like a premium high school team, you'll play what, maybe 25, 30 games at best.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
That's the best team because you travel and get these extra games in. And then if you want to, in college, you know, it's not going to be not much more than that. You know, 30, 35 at best if you like a dynamic college team.
Yeah.
So, but the NBA, man, you talking just 82 regular season.
Man, yeah, he reminds me of, what was that dude's name?
Tractor trailer.
Tractor trailer. But there was another one that was from Dallas area. I want to say he went to Arkansas originally, and he was another one. Just got bigger. Yeah, I think I'm probably sitting somewhere now.
He really needs to be on the phone with Ron. Hey,
Well,
Ron, do this, man. How do I
either that or maybe he'll enter a hot dog eating contest somewhere or something.
either that, they put a shackle on him and chain him to his bedpost. But I mean, they got to do something, man. I don't even know if it's that he's consuming a whole lot. I think it's what he's consuming.
Well,
it's hard to break away from, you know, sometimes that stuff that you've grown up with.
Well, but that's the thing about it. Anything about working out and bodybuilding and to do some bodybuilding, to been there and tried to do a little bit of that. You know, I've done some of it. You've done some of it. The body is really sculptured at the dinner table, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's where it starts. You can
right in front of that big old turkey. And all them mashed taters and gravy.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah, that's body sculpting at its finest.
Pies and cakes.
Man, I know I was in that gym this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you have to at some point, man, you gotta say, okay, knowing what's on the line. Your body is
it's your temple.
But when you go to sports, that's your tools. That's what it is. That's what got you there. Don't get me wrong, the mental toughness and all the hard work. But if you don't have that body to be an athlete, then you can't be an athlete.
Alrighty. Well, talking about athletes and all that, we got our picks coming up. We didn't do too good on this last week, so.
Yeah.
So what's the standings?
Gordon's still ahead, and then Nate's right behind him, and then you and I are close to them right now.
What's the actual scores? I want to hear
I'd
that.
have to calculate them up again, but I know it's Gordon's.
That's called show prep, son. I don't know if you knew that word or not.
I haven't been prepping this week because I was sick this week a lot.
Yeah, well,
While he doing that, man, you talk about sculpting at that dinner table, man. And Thanksgiving, man, was my friend this year. So.
Yeah, it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite holiday because I don't do any cooking. I just eat and watch football.
And you talking about thankful, man. I was thankful.
Yeah.
That the bird was on point, man.
yeah, we did a bird and stuffing, mashed taters, pretty much everything normal. Flora did some green beans up there, pretty good. And it was the first year we really didn't have any company come over. And
Yeah,
it was kind of quiet, but we got through it. What the hell? It was nice not to have to rush around getting everything ready. We could eat when we wanted.
I'm going to this year. I think I'm a fry a turkey and smoke one. I know I'm smoking one. Matter of fact, for Christmas, I'm gonna smoke one.
Christmas, we always do steaks. We grill outside, even if it's snowing.
And we talked about me and Brian had talked about doing that, maybe doing some steaks. And I said that'd be great. Let me tell you, want to do it, but I know I got a neighbor wants me to smoke him a turkey, so I'm gonna.
And I think we'll probably do steaks. And probably the night before we'll open the gifts and everything like we normally do, so the kids can have their times with their significant others and that on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's always been a tradition in this house.
I got any snow up there, man? Pat?
It's been spitting here and there. We really haven't had any accumulation yet, though. But it's kind of early. They're saying a couple times this week that we're supposed to get little rounds of it again. But every time it snows, then we get back into the 50s, and it melts it all off.
Yeah. Man.
Maybe things will work out. You guys get it. You don't get that.
Looking at this from the viewpoint of a weather person as I am, I think it's going to be probably around the 1st of January. January and February are usually the worst 2 months in Ohio, as far as January for the temperatures and February for the amount of snow we get. Once we get through that, then we'll be all right. We're probably about normal for snowfall so far. We're supposed to, I heard the other night, we get the month of December usually has a foot of snow in it. And we're probably on track for that. We've had a couple here and a couple there. But as far as temperatures, you're at the end of in a La Nina, and those usually mean warmer temperatures up out of the Gulf and that.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a little more snow, but you're going to get warmer temperatures, so it don't stay there.
Yeah. And heck, we've had almost 80 degrees this week.
That's the La Nina effect.
Yeah.
You know,
wow. Question on that, Pat. I'm sorry. In that, what is that? About every 6-7 years those come through?
Well, they actually form down in the La Nina and the El Nino. The El Nino is the beginning of it, and it forms down in the Gulf. It all has to do with the warmth of the Gulf waters and that fluctuates. It's really not on a schedule that I know, because there's times you'll have shorter ones, and there's times you have ones that'll go a couple of years.
Yeah.
And usually with the La Nina like it is, tends to spread itself out and push the jet stream north, and that's what's happening now. So we're not getting quite as cold as we normally do.
Wow, it's it's strange that it works that way, and more so in the summer. And in actuality, this wasn't one of the worst summers we've had, but still.
Well, that's because you were transversing between the two this summer, so you more or less had kind of a normal summer. Now we are actually in the La Nina, which is the downside of El Nino.
Yeah, because what was that summer of 2011?
You're probably
how many days we had over 100 degrees.
It was like 70.
Yeah, 70 something days of over 100 degrees. Man, it's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I was ready to move. I was ready to move back to Ohio, man. But even still, I mean, with that, you guys get hit with a bunch of high 90s that year, I think.
And it feels over 100.
Yeah, and because of the high humidity too.
Yep. All right, we ready for the picks?
Yep. First pick of the game. The first game is Tampa Bay at Atlanta.
Okay. We all know everybody's taking Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Just put TB down for everybody. No one's taking it on. Y'all okay with that, right? I'm kind of I just.
I'm just letting you talk for me.
Okay. Next game is Arizona at Chicago.
Arizona.
Arizona. Everybody's probably taking Arizona on that one.
Okay.
Nate, you taking Arizona?
Absolutely.
Next game is Chargers at Bengals.
I'm taking Chargers.
Now that's going to be a good game. I think I'm going to go out on that and take the Bengals.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Bengals on that one too. They're actually doing pretty well. I'm going to look for I want to look up the picks.
I think they had Bengals by 3. Look.
Shawn thinking about it.
Yeah, because you would think if it was only by 3 at home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
more like being even at.
All right, we're at the. That was the Bengals.
You don't have to worry about losing this week to week.
But
Chargers at the Bengals.
Y'all need the Chargers. Y'all need the Bengals to lose.
Chargers are -3.
Yeah, they're -3, but I'm taking Chargers.
So, Joey.
All right, wait a minute. The latest odds are the Bengals at -3. I'll take the Bengals. They're even saying the pick is actually 31-24 Bengals. So we'll take them. Next up.
Next up, Minnesota at Detroit.
Oh, that's a tough one, huh, Nate?
Yeah, that's really tough.
I'm expecting Detroit to continue their perfect season. Boy, dude, got a perfect record, man. Oh boy, oh boy.
You taking Minnesota?
Yeah.
I'm taking Minnesota also.
Yeah, give me Minnesota. Heaven forbid they should. Detroit should win.
You taking Detroit there, Nate?
No. I said I'm taking Minnesota.
Come on, man.
Detroit is going to continue their perfect season.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you. All right, next game is New York Giants at Miami. Miami's been playing hot lately too.
Who Miami playing? I'm sorry.
Giants. It's gonna be at Miami. Miami's been hot though.
Is what's his name?
Daniel. I don't know if he's playing or not.
I don't know if he's playing.
So I'll go with Miami on that one.
Yeah, I am too.
Really a tough pick there. Thank you.
And Giants have been so beat up.
Oh, the Giants are +4. I'll take the Giants.
I wonder who's the quarterback for Miami though.
Tua.
Tua is.
Tua, yeah.
Hard to tell what you're going to get.
Who'd you pick, Nate?
Yeah, I was hoping to come back. I got to think about that one for a second. It's a hard pick.
And don't get me wrong, I'd love to see the Giants win. I want to see them win out and lose to the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Skins. But
well, we got the next game.
Washington football team ain't losing to Dallas, man. I'll tell you that now.
All right, the next game is Philadelphia Jets.
It's another hard pick. These teams are the problem with these teams, man. These things, they're like Dr. Heckler.
Philly.
Heckler Mr. High, you know, I mean, one way, one day.
Supposed to play a little better than
Yeah. I think I'm going to roll with Philly over the Jets, man.
I think I'm going to take the Jets. They're actually favored by 7.
Really?
That's what it's saying. Jets +7.
Wow.
And the pick is actually 17-14.
All right, next game is Indiana versus Houston.
Yeah.
I'm going Indianapolis.
Sometimes Indiana can play it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm taking Colts.
You taking Indianapolis, Nate?
They can bring it down someday.
Who are you taking, Dad?
Oh, give me Indianapolis.
All right. Next game is Washington at the Raiders.
That last game was the Colts at the Texans, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm changing my mind there. Give me the Texans.
Okay.
Washington and the Raiders.
Yeah.
Washington's on such a upstick.
That's actually abbreviated WFT. What football team?
Or what the? What the F?
What football team?
What effing team?
Abbreviate part of the beat yourself. Right. But,
They're actually, according to this pick, they're favored by 4.
Washington.
Washington, yeah.
And that's what I'm going with.
The line on them is minus 1.5 for the Raiders.
You want to know something?
Raiders.
Both Washington and Philly are getting better as Dallas seems to step backwards. But
So who you taking, Nate?
the thing with Washington, I think Washington plays with an edge. Now you got a quarterback, man. It's like, man, I always belong. You know, y'all made this hard for me. He plays with that kind of edge, and he's got the rest of them cats playing.
Yeah, they play with an edge, and sometimes they fall off of it.
Yeah. Sometimes they just too close to the
Who you taking, Dad?
I'll take the Raiders.
Okay. All right. Next game is Jacksonville at Los Angeles Rams.
I'm going with Rams.
Give me the
What?
Rams.
They're gonna right their ship.
What? You got sure?
Give me the Rams.
Yeah, they'll right their ship. They'll right their wrongs.
Has Jacksonville won more than one game this year?
Yeah, everybody's going Rams so now.
Yeah. All right. Next game, Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
I'm going with Seymour.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
I had to do that.
Baltimore. You taking Baltimore?
Everybody's probably taking Baltimore.
Yeah, I hate to do it, but I take the Ratbirds.
I know, right? Man.
All right. Next game is San Fran at Seattle.
Man. What's happening in Seattle here lately?
They're done. They lost their confidence.
They have played awful.
Poor.
You know, and this would be the game if I take San Fran, that'd be the game that Seattle wins.
Right,
You know,
right there,
I don't know, man. It just, but they have, man, they stink.
I think they lost their confidence, man. At this point,
And I don't even know if Russell
I don't deep
Wilson's
down inside,
playing,
he's trying to play,
but
I don't know.
I think he's trying to get to Cleveland.
I don't know if that's gonna ever happen for him.
I think he's trying to get to Cleveland.
All right. So
Give me the 49ers.
Everybody's pretty much taking the 49ers.
okay. Next game is Denver at KC.
Wow,
I'm taking KC.
nice. I think Denver's kind of nice up and down. You never know what Denver you're gonna see. But I gotta roll with KC. KC's starting to they've figuring it out, man.
They're figuring it out. The defense is playing better. I think they put Chris Jones back in the middle of that defensive front instead of putting him out there on the edge. 300-pound slow rascal. You're gonna make him an edge rusher, man. You lost your mind. That dude couldn't catch me, and I'm somebody's grandpa.
Who are you taking, Dad?
KC.
Casey. Okay. All right, then. Monday night game is New England at Buffalo.
Rolling with New England, boy.
Give me Buffalo.
Baby goat.
Buffalo's going to roll over them.
Baby goat, boy.
They gonna beat us. Well, they playing at New England though, right?
No, they're playing at
Oh, they playing at Buffalo too.
Buffalo.
And don't get me wrong, Belichick, as great a coach as he is, Buffalo gonna beat the brakes off them boys.
Baby goat, man. Goat.
Buffalo.
The Joker, man, ain't nothing but Tom Brady, man, reincarnated, man.
You gonna see.
Man, I tell you, get his blood, man. Check that DNA. Allow it to be his son.
You gonna see.
Thursday night game is Pittsburgh at Minnesota.
Who's Thursday again? Minnesota who?
Pittsburgh at Minnesota.
Who's that, Pat?
You caught me. Well, who's going to win the Pittsburgh game? Pittsburgh and Minnesota?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
It ain't going to be Pittsburgh.
So you going Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota for me. I don't think if Ben's in there, that guy runs like an old lady.
Everybody's giving up on Pittsburgh.
He runs like his knees don't work anymore. I think I could outrun him.
Oh, Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of God, I don't know if they ever see. You guys ever see that cartoon called King of the Hill?
Oh yeah.
With Hank Hill? He looks like a taller version of Cotton. Remember Hank's dad? That's how he moves.
I watched that game last week. I don't remember who it was even against, but there was one pass where he had somebody at his feet, and you could have played tiptoe through the tulips the way that guy was dancing around.
I'll take Minnesota. That's tough. That's
Who you taking on that game there, Nate?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I think I roll with Minnesota.
All right, I need to go back to that Minnesota, Miami, New York Giants game for you, Nate.
Miami. I'm rolling with
Miami. All right.
I'm rolling with That's a hard pick here, man.
Yeah.
So where do we stand? So I know where. Did you ever figure it out?
No, I didn't get it figured out. I gotta.
Don't worry, I'm here. I think I'm here by 10.
Right.
We know that.
Work together.
Hey, Shawn, they don't have all this paperwork over here, so hey, it's. But
But hey, Shawn, when you get up for board, you better make sure you take your paperwork.
I'm fixing it up for him.
I thought he was
It's a
writing
rough
something
week,
down
man.
last week when you got had the eraser.
I actually found a clip the other day of what Roethlisberger's telling all his fans. Want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
You are mean to me. You insult me and you don't appreciate anything that I do. Y'all.
Oh, shoot.
And then his fans replied,
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
Oh, say.
You know the sad thing is, man, Ben looks sad too, man. He looked like like he's questioning, man, should I just sit down and let one of the other quarterbacks?
"What other sports show can you tune into and hear such grand sound effects?"
Yeah, buddy, I'm loving it.
I mean, really.
Oh, man.
So is that it, Shawn? That all the
Yeah,
picks?
that's it on the picks this week.
Anything else we want to cover before we wrap her up here?
I had to dodge the other sports shows, man. I couldn't watch it, man, because I not want to hear talk about Ohio State.
Now, I can tell you one thing that was a hit down here in the Texas area was the two signings for baseball. The Rangers going over $500 million.
Yeah. And it's still going to be bad. Well, if they have this lockout, hey, man, they won't lose a game.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that they said that they're doing that lockout to save the 22 season, but I don't. You know, they're too far apart to actually do much with that. I've been part of unions before, and when you go into a press conference or whenever you do a meeting that only lasts a half an hour, you got some major problems between you.
I mean, both sides have got mad and said, I'm gone.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. We're not going to listen to this. You guys are way off base. Ain't going to happen.
That's the reason. Boy, they move like the federal government when it comes to.
And what it's going to take is
decisions.
What it's going to take is for those owners to lose a bunch of money. I hate to say that, but that's probably where it's headed.
Bad thing is, but they lose too much, man. They'll just go ahead and get some guys, get them to break that line, man. Suited up plan out there.
They just gave the Indians $200 million up here for the stadium to refurbish it. supposed to be 468 million between them and the Indians and the city.
From what I heard, the Guardian sign is off center already.
Oh, it actually fell once. They put it up and it fell. Didn't even they had put it up, and I thought it would be such an embarrassment to be whoever put that up. It was up about 6 hours, and then one came along and blew it down.
Yeah.
There's a sign right there.
There's your sign, yeah. In that though, with the guy, well, man, I just can't stop thinking about that. The Guardians, and then can Cleveland even afford to give $200 million? They're broke.
Well, that Polensik was on there. He's the councilman for that area, and he was completely against it because of the fact that they have, the way he put it, you've got so many deprived areas around here, and a bunch of rich people want to build a sandbox right in the middle of it to come and play.
But you know what? Maybe that helps the property value in that area. I don't know. But what usually happens is this. You give all that money and you get to put your name on there, and I give 4 or 5 years, somebody else will give some money and they'll put their name on there. And it happens all the time. It happened down here with the Rangers. And then we went through the same thing, similar to that here, where they wanted to initially put Jerry World in the South Dallas area. And the mayor at the time, she really pushed to keep it out. And so they're in Arlington. But what that's done is Arlington has blown up. And at the same time, that area that they were getting, 2 reasons why he wanted to do that. First off, he was going to get property value very, very low because of that. That sector is probably one of the lowest property value areas, but it's just off of downtown. And he actually wanted to do it right there on the Fair Park. And it was actually for him, and we know Jerry. Jerry is what he is. He's a great businessman. You know, not a GM, but he's a great businessman. So it was gonna make him a fortune. But
they're talking now that they've actually signed this contract for I think it was 468 million between the two of them. I think the Indians were supposed to pay 300 million, and the city of Cleveland come up with 168. They made 468 million. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep them locked in there for 15 years. Mm-hmm. And that stadium, where I hate to say it, it was built 30 years ago, and there's been very little done to it, unlike the Gund Arena and all that. So I think it's a good investment. That's going to keep the Indians there for another 15 or so years.
The who's?
The Guardians. Guardians.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Cleveland Galaxy.
The Guardians of the Land. That actually sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? The Guardians of the Land. Cleveland is the land.
Okay.
That's what they say.
In the land, all right. But does that mean where the
land of disappointment
aliens landed and abducted the Brown?
Oh, don't get me started on that. We can. I'll start showing you footage of aliens on Mars and everything else.
Oh, boy.
Started getting kind of frantic.
I think they landed in Cleveland, man, and took the heart out of the Browns.
No, you gotta think about this a minute. Yeah, how did we get here? And have you ever walked down the street and seen somebody that looked like he wasn't on this planet? Especially in Cleveland. But we digress.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we could probably wrap this up since
Oh yeah.
it's heading down the sewer anyway.
Nate, y'all know about it.
Yeah, they got only one football game I want to see today. That's sad.
Yeah, what that Michigan whatever game is today, isn't it? What is playing today?
Michigan and Iowa and
Alabama and Georgia.
yes, sir.
When's that Georgia game?
Alabama and Georgia come on at 4.
So I take it the other one's on at noon.
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I see Oregon Ducks offensive coordinator Joe Moorhead officially hired at Akron.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's been the big news up here. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up for tonight.
All right.
Or today, rather. I'm gonna do kind of a different close here. I'll find what I'm looking for. This is kind of my feelings from last week. So this is a good ending song for today's show. We'll see y'all next week, and thanks guys for coming in. Love the opinions, love the company,
Yeah, absolutely.
and hope your teams win down the road. So take care, all.
All right.